G'day everyone, it's Justin and
Scott.
two dads again from Australia, and we're coming to you today in a 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander SUV. Okay mate, the Outlander is an SUV we've been keen to try out because I think it added a bit of excitement to Mitsubishi's range when it was released back in late 2021, because you know, Mitsubishi's kind of one of those sensible brands, you think? Like it's, yeah.
Absolutely.
You agree?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, and I was very interested in trying as well because I don't know if you know, but back in 2008, I had an early version of the Outlander.
Okay.
And had it for quite a few years. And it did the hard yakka with the family and dogs and family, and my kayak used to be on top. We did a few road trips, even took it to Fraser Island. So really gave it, really gave it a hard time. So yeah, I was very interested in getting in the car today.
Yeah, see what the difference is between the old one and the new one. Yeah. So, well, mate, I think you know, the Outlander's probably grown a bit to what we're used to, I guess.
Certainly has. Yes, we only had 5 seats option, not the 7 like we're in today.
Because it's Mitsubishi's family SUV, so it does come in 5 or 7 seats, and you can get it in 2-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, depending on the model. And for Australia, it comes in petrol form only, with a naturally aspirated 2.5 4-cylinder engine, which puts out 135 kilowatts at 6,000 RPM and 245 Newton meters at a low 3,600 RPM. And they're all sort of automatic. They all come with an 8-speed CVT transmission as standard.
Yes.
There's also a new plug-in hybrid electric Outlander. That's available now too, but look, we're going to try that another time, so we're not really going to go on about that car at the moment. But the one that we are in today is the mid-range LS model in 2-wheel drive, which according to Mitsubishi's website is 43,960 drive away in New South Wales, where we are. So mate, you've had the new Outlander for a bit this week.
I have.
What do you think?
Yeah, so really, initially some really good impressions. I took it for a drive up the coast, and I hit some really, really bad weather on the freeway.
Okay.
And you know what, the first impressions were it was really capable because there was a lot of rain, and this thing just sat on the ground. The rain didn't affect it at all. And you know what I really liked is direct steering. I think engine performance the power is really well suited to the size of car, so it really felt very responsive. I think the handling, as I said, very, very capable. Only thing I'd say is with the suspension for me, when it hit a bigger pothole, it was a bit jarry. But you know, it seems okay around the city. But yeah, if you hit a few bigger holes in the road, and our roads are pretty terrible, I just found it a little bit jarry. But other than that, it was very capable.
Yeah, mate, I tended to drive this more around town, so I didn't think that the ride was too bad. It runs 18-inch wheels. They come with 235/60 18s. In the 7-seat version, there's no full-size spare, but you do get one in a 5-seat version. But yeah, no, to me, I mean, I guess, yeah, I didn't take it on the open road, so it kind of felt fine around town for me. It was quiet, yeah.
And really found cabin noise was a minimum, even at high speed, so I got to put that note in as well, so that was a very impressive part of it.
One interesting thing I found about it though, and I think you agree with me, it feels big. It's not one of those cars that shrinks around you, does it?
We find this with cars, right? People probably shake their heads and go, what are they going on about? But some cars you get into that are smaller, when you get in, they feel bigger. And this is an example of that one. So parking it does feel a little bit more challenging than you would think for the size of car. And others we get into that are really big cars actually feel really small and nimble. So, but this one, yeah, definitely feels a little bit on the larger side when you're actually behind the driver's wheel.
Yeah, because it's not really a huge sort of 7-seat SUV, like, you know, something like the Hyundai Santa Fe or something like that. But it does, the fuel consumption's around 7.7 litres per 100 k's. That's the official consumption. But on the open road, you got better than that, didn't you?
Exactly. I did a bit of eco. I put in eco mode and normal mode, so I had a bit of combination of those. And on a longer run, with just a little bit of city driving and mostly highway driving, yeah, I was down into the 6s for a lot of it, and ended up, I think, right on 7.0 0 after quite a few. So I was beating some of those estimates.
That's pretty good.
I was very impressed with. Yeah.
And it does only take 91 octane unleaded too, so that's going to save you a bit of money. You don't have to fill it up with premium or anything like that.
Yep.
The towing capacity on this car too is around about 1,600 kilos braked. So that's probably like, small trailer type situation, isn't it? So
Yes. Yeah.
Anyway, mate, family friendliness. I know, we look at cars from a fun and family friendly point of view. So, what's your opinion of the driving position?
So I found most of it really good, comfortable. You can raise the seat, lower the seat, all the normal sort of things. So it's all very adjustable from a driver's point of view. Steering wheel, in and out, up and down. So, I was really comfortable behind the wheel of this, just jumping straight in. Visibility though, I got to say the third row of seats when they're up and you've got the headrests, you can hardly see anything out the back window. So that was a big issue for me, because you've got the second row headrests don't align with the third row, so you've got pretty much two lots of headrests blocking your view, and you've only left with a little postage stamp in between. So that was probably my only comment on that. Yeah.
Well, I sort of found that too, but the D pillars at the back, I thought that they sort of intrude a little bit when you reverse park and stuff. I mean, look, it has got all the, like the sensors and the camera, but it makes you feel a bit claustrophobic in the car because those pillars sort of do intrude a little bit, don't they? So, but I tend to agree with you. I mean, the seat comfort is actually pretty good. It's got lumbar support too, which is pretty good for like a like one above the base car sort of thing. So
absolutely, yeah, I used that and found it really good.
Yeah. So, interior styling, ergonomics. What did you think? I think it's sensible, but build quality, something popped up, didn't it? I don't know whether that's unusual for this particular car that we've got today, but it was noticeable, wasn't it?
Well, we have to note it, right? So the door handle itself is sort of pulling off, right? That's not sort of attached properly, which is not great. A couple of other pieces just felt a little bit similar, really, like they were almost a bit wobbly. So just something to look out for. Yeah,
but everything, like when you find in the cabin, it's actually pretty well designed, isn't it? Like everything's easy to touch and everything. The touch screen here, it's a 9-inch touch screen. It's got built-in nav, DAB, wireless Apple CarPlay.
Yes,
well done,
which
Mitsubishi.
is really big tick. Yes.
Yep. But around the cabin, it's pretty easy to find everything, isn't it?
And importantly, I think, is there's some knobs, right, as well. So it's not all driven by the screen. We find that I'd certainly find that pretty frustrating. But you can turn the volume up and down really easily. You can zoom the maps in and easily with the other knob. So, some of the things you're probably going to do quite regularly, really easy to do with the knobs. You don't have to be using the actual screen.
You had an interesting comment about the dash, though. What were you saying about that?
I got to say, first stepping into this, there was quite a bit of information on there, and I was really struggling to see some of the things. One example where I had the automatic headlights on, and I was in this pouring rain, doing about 40 kilometres an hour along the freeway. That's how heavy it was. And the automatic lights didn't come on, but I was really struggling to work out where I could actually see that because there was just so much. If they were on or off, that's right. Okay. In the end, they weren't on, so I just had to put them on manual, which is a bit concerning. But there is a lot going on in that dash. It's a
it's a bit busy, isn't it? So with all the information in the centre part of it. So
I mean, you can obviously change some of the settings. So maybe you just want to remove some of that information some of the time.
Okay, mate. You sat in the back, second row. It is a 7-seater. Let's start with the second row. What do you think about the second row?
Between second row and third row is going to be a different story here. Second row, really impressed, right? Because the second row seat goes forward and back. So if you are a bit taller, even in the standard seating position, there was room for me to sit in the back in terms of my knee room, and heaps of room for my headroom. So it is quite a high car. So I know I was trying to clean it this morning, trying to get up on the roof. It's a long way up. It is quite a tall car. And
if you've got taller kids, it's fine, isn't it? So
So teenage kids and stuff in this back of this car in the second row will be that's a thumbs up.
Because it has got like rear vents in the back. It's actually got 2 USBs in the back too.
Yes, it does.
So that's good too.
Third row, different story. Very, very limited space. It is absolutely for occasional use and smaller kids, I think. Let's just say it as it is.
I think Mitsubishi's sort of realised that because they don't actually put any vents in the back in there, and there's no USB port. So it's occasional use only, isn't it? So What about the boot, mate? Like the boot, I thought was pretty good. Like it's pretty smart design there. Like cars come with a cover and things like that. They've actually hidden that under the boot floor. But when you actually put the third row down, there's plenty of room in the back, isn't it?
There is, yes. Yeah, I had it packed up with a few things, and everything fitted in really easily. So boot space is really adequate.
Yeah, you do have to take those rear headrests off in the third row to get the boot. No, sorry, the seats down, don't you?
That's right, and there's space to put those headrests, which is also smart as well.
Which is good.
Hidden away underneath the
but
boot floor.
Even with those seats up, like, you can put a bag in there and stuff like that, so it's not too bad. And the second row actually splits down 40, 20, 40 as well. So, if you want to put something long through the cabin, that's pretty good too. So, it's pretty practical.
Yeah.
In terms of safety for the car, mate, it's pretty good for like the level of spec this car has, I thought. It's got 8 airbags, including driver's knee and a centre airbag as well. You get autonomous emergency braking, blind spot and lane departure warning and prevention. That's standard on the car there. Front and rear parking sensors from the LS model up. So the base model doesn't get the front parking sensors. You get rear cross traffic alert. There's reverse auto emergency braking from the LS model up. So it'll brake for you if it detects something's behind you.
Yes.
And you get adaptive cruise as well. So
and the adaptive cruise, I used it a lot and found it really good. Yeah, it worked very well. It's you can do the 3 different distances. So if you want it to only start to kick in when you're closer to the car or further away, very easy to adjust that with the button on the steering wheel.
Okay, mate. In terms of value for money, look, there's 4 models in the Outlander range at the moment. I mean, that's not including, there's some sort of like special models in there as well. But the 4 models generally, you start off with a 5-seat, 2-wheel drive only ES model, which I guess is sort of like your Avis spec car, I suppose. The LS model is the one that we're in today, and you can get that in 7-seat or all-wheel drive. There's an Aspire model, which I guess is their premium model, and that comes in 2-wheel drive or all-wheel drive as well. And then you can get the top of the range Exceed all-wheel drive. That one's 55,660. So there is a fair bit of range between a base sort of 40 grand entry-level car and a 55.5 grand sort of top of the range car. So, but I personally think that the LS model that we're in today is probably the best value for money version, because it's pretty well equipped for the price. Like you're getting auto headlights, auto wipers, you're getting keyless entry, keyless start, you get lumbar support for the driver, dual zone air conditioning, wireless Apple CarPlay. What do you think?
I've got to agree. I don't think it feels like it's missing anything. Like everything I went to look for, it was there, right? Like I needed the fog lights when I was in the storm. Oh, that's there. Every little button I was looking for when I needed over the last few days, everything was there that I needed. So I don't think it's missing anything. So it's got to be in the sweet spot for that price. I think it's pretty impressive.
Well, haven't they?
Yeah, very impressed.
Look, I mean, the only thing I could probably say about the car though is that, look, if you do need 7 seats all the time and you've got big people, maybe you might want to look at something a bit bigger than one of these. This is good if it's like a 5-seater with occasional.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes,
absolutely. If any longer than that, I don't think it works.
Okay, in terms of after sales, it comes with a 10-year, 200,000 kilometre warranty from Mitsubishi, but you got to read the fine print on that one too, I think. So, because you got to have it serviced at a Mitsubishi dealer to get that, because the standard warranty on the car is a 5-year, 100,000 K warranty, but to get the 10-year one, you've got to service at Mitsubishi. It has got cap price servicing. It's every year or 15,000 Ks, which is good. So.
Yes.
But something interesting I found, when you look on the Mitsubishi website, and this car is a model year, I think a 22.5 car, 22.5 car. And when you look on the Mitsubishi website, the 10-year servicing cost on this car is $3,190. But I had a look, there's a model year 23 car, which I assume is going to be pretty much identical to this car. That's gone up in price in terms of your servicing by $1,150. So that's $4,340 to service it. So I think we were chatting before, you'd think maybe that's inflation driven or something like that?
Well, I think
don't know.
that's some justification for it, but I don't think you can justify all of that. But if it's over a 10-year period, it's quite a lot. It's a long time. So we might be seeing that in other cars. So something to look out for everyone in the latest models to see how that fixed price servicing, is it jumping up over the 5 or 10 years, depending on how long you're getting it for.
Or how long you want to keep the car, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. All right, mate. Quick chat about X Factor. X Factor is our usual, like, is this the kind of car that when you're driving past the shops, you're gonna, check out the reflection of the car because it's really cool, or when you park the car, you're gonna look back at it or something like that? What do you think?
Well, it's an SUV, and you know my view on SUVs. It's hard to make them look really, really fancy. But I've got to say, Mitsubishi have got a few design cues in this one that definitely make you look back at it.
I reckon this looks really good.
Yeah, well, I think that the front end of this is pretty unique, right? So you've got those amazing big headlights that I haven't seen on anything else, right? That's very unique. And then you've even got the blinkers and stuff above that. So you've got really high sitting lights that, and as well as the grille area. That really gives it a distinctive look.
You know what it reminds me of? A Land Rover. That's what it.
Yes, that's probably that high position.
Range Rover, Land Rover sort of look about it, doesn't it? So,
It's
Mitsubishi's done well with this. It does look good. This thing, I reckon it's got X Factor.
Yeah.
Okay, just want to put a big thanks out to our friends at Mitsubishi Australia for the loan of the Outlander this week. As we said, I think the LS model that we're in today is probably the one that you put on your shopping list. It's family friendly, definitely. It's got a lot of good spec, reasonably priced as well. Yep. But again, it's one of those cars. I think if you do need more space, maybe there's some other cars that you might also want to put on your shopping list as well. What did you think compared to your old Outlander, mate?
Oh, they've come a long way in that 14 years or something. But that was that's a family favourite car. We still think back on it very fondly. So I think people buying this car will probably do the same.
Yeah. Okay. Just want to put a big thanks out to everybody for all the likes, the shares, the subscriptions. Please continue to do so, and we'll keep throwing some videos at you, okay?
Yeah. Thanks, everyone.
See you later.